Hey there, introverts and deep thinkers. Welcome to Introverts Unmuted, the podcast where we prove that quiet doesn't mean invisible and deep thoughts deserve a mic. If you've ever felt drained by small talk, mastered the art of sneaking out of the room, or wished the world understood the magic of solitude, this is your space. We're diving into everything from navigating social energy to embracing creativity, confidence, and the unique power of being an introvert. So get comfy, plug in, and let's turn up the volume on our quiet confidence. I'm Amber Hansel, and this is Introverts Unmuted. Today, I have with me Gillian. Hi, how are you?
Hi, doing well. Thank you for having me.
Good. So you are part of Luminous Leap. And so you do web design, light codes. So tell me more, because I've heard a little bit about light codes, but not a lot. Tell me all, and I want to know.
Yeah, definitely. So I started Luminous Leap in 2023. At that time, I had a full-time corporate job, and I was kind of helping out with their web design for a nonprofit that was being started on the side. So I turned my company into that when I left, and I started doing web design, but I've always been interested in the more, I guess, spiritual side of things, if you call it, the woo-woo side. The people say it's a little out there, but astrology, numerology, human design, they're all becoming more mainstream, and I've loved studying them all throughout the years, and I'm a certified human design reader as well, but I never really found anything that put them all together. And so I created Light Codes, which is a combination of all three modalities, and it just gives you a full picture of who you are. And then I even started incorporating that into my web design practice too. So I would do a Light Code reading on my client and get to know kind of their internal code, if you will. And then I was able to use that in their web design. And I just remember my last client saying to me, "Oh my gosh, my website feels like it was just made for me. Like the copy that you put on there says exactly what I've been wanting to say for years, but didn't have the words," and that kind of stuff. So it was really helpful to be able to really get to know somebody just by pulling their light code and then be able to use that in their business too.
Yeah, and that's such a unique way about getting to know your clients and really going deeper for them and allowing that to go out into their web design.
Absolutely.
So tell me, how did you get into, you've always been interested in this side of it and then went, I'm just going to go for it?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like it's probably been my whole life that I've been interested in it. I remember being in middle school reading my horoscope, and, it mostly was a daily fun thing, really. But it seriously became a thing for me probably about 2 or 3 years ago. And especially when I started looking into human design, because astrology was always kind of generalized, I felt like. But I also didn't know how to read a chart either and realize, oh, I need to look at it for this specific aspect of my chart and make sure that I read the horoscopes for 4 different signs instead of one. And the human design aspect, though, really made me feel more seen. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't have to stay in this little bubble that society has kind of pushed me to be in. Like, no wonder I feel this way. Oh my gosh, you feel so much more seen and validated. So all of that combined, just, yeah, it felt good, and it felt right to be starting it at this time, especially, after COVID, when everybody's trying to figure out who they are and what to do with their time and what the world's turning into. So I feel like this is just a nice evolution.
It is. So you had asked for all of my information to pull. So I'm curious to see, what you have about me.
Awesome. So do you kind of know anything about astrology and numerology, human design
Yeah, I know a little bit, and I know a little basis, and kind of, I've had a few readings done, but it's, times change, months change, things always are evolving. And so, yeah, I do kind of have, I guess, a basis, you would say.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So I pulled all your information, and you are kind of overall like your profile is a 4-1 generator, and your authority, which kind of means like how you're supposed to make decisions, is sacral. So you're supposed to trust your gut. I'm also a generator, and we are meant to take what comes to us and respond to it and not necessarily initiate things, which I know for me has always been difficult. But but you hear a little ping, uh, maybe it's somebody, I don't know, coming to you and saying, "Hey, I was thinking about this the other day," and you get a little flash of inspiration, like, "Oh, okay, that leads you down a path." Um, so anyway, your strategy is to respond to those things that light you up in life, and um, with your astrology side of it, your sun in Libra, you have a lot in Libra, by the way. um, you're really detail oriented and focused and just always want balance in your life. And the balance actually shows up a lot throughout your whole chart, to begin with, between everything, actually, the astrology, the human design, and the numerology side. And there's something called your incarnation cross, which a lot of times people call your purpose, right? Like what you're meant to do here in this world. And for a lot of times, this purpose doesn't show up for us until we're in our late 30s, because we've kind of been exploring the world and trying to figure out who we are. And only when we live by our design and code and we're not trying to be somebody that we're not, will this purpose show up. So I think this is one of like the hidden gems of all of this in general. But yours is, it's pretty special. It's one of the rarest ones. It's called the juxtaposition cross of depth, which the juxtaposition cross is meant to bridge the collective and the individual. So you're meant to kind of pull depth out of people and continuously pursue growth, ambition, knowledge, and then use that not only on yourself, but then take your experiences and help the collective with that. And there's a whole lot more too, but that's it's a lot going on.
I like really resonate with that because I have been, trying to figure out like the next stage, I guess you say, the next phase, and knowing that, okay, what I am brainstorming and what is going on is aligned with that, is bringing the individual and the collective together.
Yay. And it's so, I mean, it's so pertinent with you having a podcast too, right? Like, and us being generators, your initial reach out and my response, that was that, oh, this lights us up. Let's do this, to bring us here today. And so, yeah, I feel like I mean, I don't even really know you that well, but I feel like you're living your purpose already by having this podcast, this platform for people. You're able to share what you know, you're able to bring in other people and learn from them. And then you call all that together and help teach the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really like what I want to do, is really to help the collective, find their voice and find their purpose within this space. Whether you're an introvert, neurodivergent, whatever you feel like, that label that society has put on it, there is so much greater within you.
Exactly. And it's hard to feel like you're fully able to be yourself, right? I mean, especially as an introvert, I feel like I've had to so many times just force myself to get out there and do things and be social and, get myself out of my comfort zone. And for most of my life, that served me well. But it is nice to be able to know yourself on this deeper level and be like, okay, I feel this way because I'm meant to, not because I'm broken or something is wrong with me. It's just, who I'm meant to be. And you need all types of people in order for society to thrive, right? Everybody can't be the same.
Yeah. And I think just really understanding yourself goes, okay, these are my strengths, and that's what I'm going to lean into instead of going, oh, well, I'm going to push myself to do this. But is that actually is that one of your strengths? I've spent weekends, socializing, at my husband's work events, and I don't know anybody. And I have to talk to these people, but it's really about going, how am I going to communicate in a way that is okay for me? And are there times throughout the day where I don't have to be with the group? Really going, I'm going to pull back. I'm going to go chill for a little bit and not be like, oh my gosh, well, I need to be over here. No, I don't need to be there all day. I get to show up when I want to. Whatever expectations, I will do what I need to do for expectation wise, but it's like, also, I'll be hanging out somewhere else.
Exactly. It's so funny you say that too, because bringing it back around to your specific light code, you are in a year 7, which is a time of introspection and pulling back and not being so social at husband work events and stuff like that. And it's kind of just like figuring out yourself before reaping in the rewards next year in your year 8. But we're also in a year of the collective year 9 in 2025. So that's a time of letting go and ending cycles and things that are done, just really releasing them and surrendering. So the mix between like the year 7 for you and the year 9 for the collective, it's like you are realizing that your time is precious to yourself and you're able to let go of other things that aren't necessarily going to benefit you in the best way.
That is like exactly what has been happening this year. I have been letting go of things that are not working for me and really been spending so much time with myself and going, what do I want? What is that next, phase that I want that's going to benefit me? And then it's going to benefit the collective next.
I love this. You're truly living it.
I am. It's crazy. And it really, because I think sometimes when we are in those introspective phases or when we decide to pull back and let go, there can be a lot of resistance in going, well, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe this isn't. And this war between like you and yourself or even society going, well, you still need to show up. You need to do this. You need to do this. The online space is 24 hours. You need to be posting every day. But it's like, no, I don't need to. That's not what's going to serve me in this time. And really releasing some of the needs and shoulds that society has said that we need and should.
Absolutely. I've been pulling that all year too. I've kind of made it an unofficial motto, I guess. I'm like, if it feels like a should, maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah. I totally feel that. I've been doing that too. I'm like, no. I'm like, you should. And I'm like, or I should not. And we're going to keep going.
Like, obviously, we all have responsibilities and things we have to take care of, like doing laundry and the dishes that we don't always want to do, right? But in the grand scheme of things in your life, like if it really feels like you're only doing something to please somebody else or because you feel like it's something that would look good in the eyes of society, maybe think over it a bit and ask yourself, like, does this feel right for me? Because if not, maybe it's actually going to make it worse.
Exactly. Like asking yourself, does this excite me? Does this light me up to actually do this? And if it doesn't, then why are you continuing to do it?
Exactly. And I will say, I know since this episode's going to come out a little bit later in the year, so we are in that collective year 9 right now, which means that next year cycles back to the 1. And the 1 is all about fresh starts, new beginnings. Anything could happen, right? So it's kind of wise to, I mean, we always do our New Year's resolutions anyway, right? Like set out for the end of the year to be like, oh, this is how my year went. This is how I want next year to go. But the more you can kind of set that foundation now for how you want the new beginning to look, that the better off you'll be for next year.
Yeah, I like that idea of setting that foundation now. And I am not, January to me is, I live in Alberta, Canada. It is cold. It is the coldest month of the year. It is so dark. It is a very long year. I hibernate in January. I don't talk about like goals. I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to survive January in the cold. So I fall to me, and with my birthday being in October, it's really such a renew time. And I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. So come like February, March, when it starts warming up, then I'm like, yes, then I can go ahead and do that. I'm still in January, still in like hibernation, introspective mode, because the weather and the environment affects us too. If you are living in a place that only has 2 seasons or 3 seasons, then it's going to look different than somebody that really has all 4 seasons.
Absolutely. And I'm in Texas, so most of the year it's hot. I think this
Yeah.
this week we're going to be at 90 degrees outside, but we don't really get much of a winter either. So
Yeah. Yeah. Like, we are actually, the last couple of weeks, we've been in pretty heat wave. So it's been warmer than usual. It's like summer finally showed up. And then going into September, October, it cools down and it's the cozy sweaters. Like, we really do get all of them. But then, December, January, we get to like minus 40 degrees Celsius or like colder. So it's a different environment than if I were to live in Texas, right? Where I would want to be doing things. And when it's that cold, I'm like, I don't go outside very much.
well, if it makes you feel any better, the technical astrological new year doesn't really start till like March, April anyway. So that time of hibernation between January and March is totally okay.
Perfect. They must know that so many people hibernate in the world.
Right?
It's like, we are not doing anything.
Absolutely. I feel that.
So as a introvert, how do you feel like this is such knowledge for introverts to help us find our voice and build our confidence up with knowing all of this?
I feel like it's so good to know yourself in order to be the amazing introvert that you are, I guess, for lack of better words. But I mean, really, if you feel like you're supposed to be more extroverted, like everybody else, quote unquote, then you might actually only pull back more. But if you know yourself and you're able to trust that and know the things that light you up and just share them with people, I feel like that's your best bet. I mean, you have to, it's so cliche, right? Everybody says, oh, just be yourself, just be yourself. And I'm guilty of not ever believing that either. Going through my teen years and my early 20s and even my late 20s. But I was able to kind of push through that. And I went into pageantry, which is a whole different story. But that really pushed me to believe in myself a bit more and step on stage and kind of just show, okay, this is me. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, still great. I'm still gonna be my best self regardless, and that's the only way to be.
Yeah, I love that. People always talk about being your authentic self, and it's almost like this buzzword of be yourself, be your authentic self. People are like, I don't know what that means anymore. And if you don't know what that means, it means you need to get offline and you need to, as the cool kids say these days, touch grass. And it's really become more introspective and start learning more about yourself. Because within
the
that,
introverts are where it's at, to be honest.
yeah, exactly. And as an introvert, you'd rather spend more time with yourself. So go spend more time with yourself, but actually doing things that make you learn about yourself. Whether you decide to take up a new hobby that maybe is a little different and go, oh, I do actually like that. or, you decide to do your light codes and learn all about this, astrology and human design can really impact you. So how can we connect with you best to learn more about all of this that you do?
Well, you can reach out to me directly through any of my socials. I'm just Gillian_DiAddezio. Or you can find me on Luminous Leap. I believe it's Luminous Leap Design, actually, on the socials. But my website is design.luminousleap.com / light codes if you want to find just the light codes. But I have the option for anybody to do either or both. If you're looking for a website, you can work with me. If you're looking for light codes, if you're looking for both, even if you're looking for dance choreography, because I do that too. I've been a dancer my whole life. So I'm literally like all over the place. And it kind of felt for a while like I had to put everything in this box of one thing, just pick one thing and be that. But I've decided to just put it all out there because I love doing it all. So you can work with me in all different kinds of ways and we can make it happen.
I love that. I will have all the links in the show notes, so make sure that you go connect and learn more, whether you want dance choreography or a website or both together with a light code, all mixed in together. Just do the whole package. It will be so great. So thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much.